All right, welcome back to the Boys 161st Street, episode 144. Another one closer to episode 161. Pete Alonso wins the home run derby, but he's still a pussy. He was fucking nuking those though. He was literally automatic. And honestly, I was talking about it before when I was watching it with Damon. He was actually just his pitcher was honestly the more impressive one. He was just fucking fucking it right high and inside, right where he likes it, just cruising them. But yeah, Pete Alonso was hitting tanks, and I just wish, while we're on the topic, because it's just happened, I wish Stanton and Judge could do it. And I mean, while I just wish, and I said this before too, if every single person who is like the top 10 in the home run race at that time, I think you should be forced to do it. I think if you're the top, if like Tatis has to do it because he has that many home runs, like that's who makes the home run derby. I think that'd be cool. And I think if you're an active player who has previously won the home run derby, you also have to do it.
You're gonna have like a 32-person field.
I think the only situation where you have to do it is if you won the previous year and you have to defend your title.
I like that.
I don't think I mean, it's hard to make somebody do it who's.
I don't know. I just think it'd be fun. I think it'd be fun. Obviously, having Vladdy do it, he should have to do it because of the home run rule in my book. Judge should have to do it because he previously won. Stanton should have to do it because he previously won. I mean, that'd be a show. Then you have all of the actual home run hitters. Like Salvi Perez ended up doing really well. He put on a show, but I wouldn't have guys like him in it. Trey Mancini went to the finals. Yeah, I wouldn't have had him in it. But, I don't know. That's just how I would run the world.
I disagree. Because Trey Mancini put on a show. And
he did. And I feel good for the guy, too, yeah.
That's a huge
Would you rather see Trey Mancini do that? Or would you rather see Yoenis Cespedes or like Robbie Cano try to do it again? I know they're both hurt and wouldn't be able to do it.
I mean, active players, idiot.
If we had, here's what I would like to see.
Like not this year maybe, but like previous years.
I would love to have like a legacy home run derby where it's like guys who won, maybe guys like Cano who are on their way out of their career. And they have like a old timers home run derby. That'd be cool.
Or like when they do like the celebrity, like the old timers
like celebrity softball game.
Like even if you did it like that.
Well, cool. They kind of do that with the old timers day at Yankee Stadium. I know Nick Swisher hit a fucking tank when he came back because he was one of the youngest ones to be in that old timers.
He retired like the year before.
Yeah,
yeah,
just like 37.
That'd be fun.
That's unfair.
I don't know. I just hope. I wish Tatis did it. I think he would fucking.
He said he's gonna do it next year.
Yeah, he says that now. It's almost like the dunk contest where the best players don't like to do it. I don't know why. Like we never see LeBron James do the dunk contest. We never see, Kevin Durant. I'm sure can fucking throw it down. All those guys. You don't see the biggest.
But I will say though, this year I think was one of the better years where they had a lot of bigger names than previous years.
Yeah, they were all pretty big games this year.
Yeah. Like I was more excited to watch this home run derby than I have been in the past because of the big names.
The best thing they ever did was do the time instead of the outs. That kind of saved it. It was starting to really trickle down a little bit.
I was more excited to watch this than watch any Yankee game ever this season, other than opening day, I think. Is that fair? Is that fair to say?
Of recent games, yeah, sure.
I think every game besides opening day.
Yeah, with the exception of the Astros series, which of course we'll get into. I was very excited for this.
I was too. I was really excited to watch baseball.
I think so too. So that being said, Yankees take 2 out of 3 against the Astros, and it's kind of like old news by the time we're talking about it, but that's all we're going to talk about. That's all we have to talk about. But, I think it's better that we waited this long to talk about it because, if we recorded right after, it'd be emotions running hot on that walk-off, that meltdown, throwing to Altuve, which, I mean, at this point in the 9th inning, why are we throwing to Altuve in a game-winning situation? I personally, let's start there. Would you guys have walked him in that situation just because of the previous history he's had against us? Even though Chad Green was the one throwing, not Chapman. No, you wouldn't have. You remember?
You can't
because it's Jose Altuve.
I don't know, man.
If we walk him, that validates it.
Yeah.
Maybe not more than the walk off, but like if
maybe
we
just pitch around him, then
we would have been bitching about how we walked him. It would have been like we hate Altuve, give the opportunity to get him out, kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess hindsight. I'm just saying that now, but
decision. But I am upset that,
I mean, when he got up to bat, I honestly was. I watched the entire game, and then I took the subway back to the apartment. And I missed the entire 9th inning, and that's when they imploded. And I came back and watched the final run. I was like, Altuve's up. It's like the story has been written too perfectly for him not to walk off a home run right now. Like as shocking as it was, I was not shocked because it was Altuve. Like as soon as he got up, I was like, oh my god, he's gonna hit a fucking walk-off home run.
Stop in the ninth inning, or to stop pitching in the ninth inning.
Yeah, no, I was not. What did you say, Murph? I couldn't hear you.
I said it, and the fact that it's this year's Yankees team, which decides not to pitch in the ninth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I wasn't shocked at all by that. I am like shocked, but not shocked at the same time, like you guys said. But I don't know. And it's just another thing with that game too. We had a thing going with the whole series. At least we had a thing. We always talk about having a thing. We want a thing. Like we had the thumbs down with Todd Frazier. We've had other things in the past with the 4.
Savages in the box.
Savage in the box. But like when you're on the bases, you do something. And they were starting to do this. And I think that could have been something that we could have continued to do every game, just being a thing on the bases. Like you get on second base and you just go like this real quick. And I think that would be like your calling cry this season. But now that happened, I think
it was because Odor took the jacket out, and whenever someone hit a home run, Odor was out. He was greeting the person with the jacket to put him on.
Why was it the jacket?
Because when Judge at his interview was like,
oh, because
why
he fucked
do that?
around.
He was like, oh, it was cold.
It was a little
chilly. So Odor put the jacket on. Sanchez, when he came in, he put the jacket on. I forget who else hit a home run, and that was the thing for about 2 innings, and then fucking Altuve went there and ruined it for us.
So you think for sure it's not going to happen anymore?
You can't bring it.
Not just this, like the jacket thing.
I wouldn't say it's for sure not going to happen, but like
it's just such a sour taste. You can't continue to do that and then not think about the day where we had one of the worst losses, probably the worst loss of the season so far.
100%.
We keep saying that.
Yeah.
It's like just a constant reminder of the worst loss we've had all season.
I don't know. I still kind of think we can do it. We still won the series. Like I don't understand. That's what people have to put a little bit in perspective. We still won the series, and heading into this series, we said, what are your expectations going into here? What would you consider a good series? And I think we're all very happy with this series. It's just the way it came about, and the fact that we couldn't sweep another. We just can't sweep. They have an inability to sweep.
Do we know the last time we actually swept a series? Because I was trying to just rack.
I think it was the White Sox.
Oh yeah, that was a long time ago.
I think that's the only sweep we have, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, yeah, it's possible. I don't know.
I don't think we've swept the Orioles. It's another team that I feel like we should have swept, but we didn't. We had so many opportunities in the series wins that we've had. There have been a lot that were sweep opportunities, and we just are 0 on the final game of a series, which happens to be the days that we record. So the days that we record aren't really the most exciting days because we're coming off bad games. So, it's par for the course for the season. But yeah, looking past this horrible loss, we did win the series. It is annoying though that, we said like the season's back, and the Cole performance, which we'll get to in a second, that is something that we can absolutely just turn the season around. I genuinely felt that, and I still do feel that. I don't think, which I'd like to get your guys' takes on this too. I don't think that Altuve home run 100 just completely reverses what we built with the Cole start and the game before that with the Judge home run and that call and cry thing. I do think it isn't a surefire, like we turned it around, because before that game and with the 7-2 lead heading into the 9th inning, I was like, wow, this is a signature series. Cole with a fucking 129 pitch outing, 12 strikeouts, screaming at Boone, getting fucking just vibes of who was that? That was Messina back in the day. Told Boone to sit, or told Torrey to sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
He told Boone to sit the fuck down, which I ate that shit up. It's just unbelievable against his former team. That was just a crazy game. I was sitting on the couch with Alyssa. We were watching a new show, How to Get Away with Murder. It's a fun show, Murph. If you haven't taken a peek, it's a very good show. But I was doing the thing that I've been doing this season, kinda. We have the TVs on top and then the big TV below. I was watching my show on the bottom because the Yankees got bounced to the upper TVs. They don't get the full TVs anymore, which maybe they'll get. They were gonna get full TV access again.
We get it. You got a lot of TVs.
No, but whatever. But I had it up there, and I was watching it, and she didn't even realize what was going on. And then she was pissed at me for being on my phone. I was like, you don't understand. Cole just had one of the most, probably honestly, the best performance of his entire career, in my mind. I think circumstantial, what happened like against his former team in Houston, I think for the first time since leaving, because we didn't play them last year.
In Houston, probably. Yeah, definitely.
I think so, yeah, because we didn't play them last year. Yeah, because we didn't play them in the playoffs. So yeah, first time back in Houston, he wasn't coming off that fucking mound. And I did say it before that he, who's going to pitch the ninth. So I have a question for you guys. And I asked this to the Twitter folks. Do you think Cole going back out there was more so just because Cole was dominating? Do you think Boone sent him out there because he was dominating, or do you think it was more of a lack of trust in Chapman and the bullpen as a whole? Because clearly you saw what happened in Game 3. So what do you think, Murph?
I was gonna pass it over to Damon, but I just think it was kind of a combination of both. Like, if Chapman is the strong Chapman that we saw in the beginning of the season, I think that it just makes the most sense to switch it over to Chapman. But I think at the same time, Cole would have had problems getting taken out of that game no matter how good Chapman's pitching. So the fact that Boone let him stay in probably had something to do with how Chapman's been throwing recently. But I think that Cole still would have been vying to stay on the mound regardless.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I was a little surprised because he was at 120 pitches or something like. Was that I don't know if I was going into the inning.
He was in the 100
teens.
teens.
That's a lot. That's a lot of pitches. But again, he was fucking. And then the inning started with a single or something like that, and then that became a little iffy if you were going to take him out or not. So I don't know. I do think that the bullpen being unreliable was a huge factor. I think if Chapman was.
He was up.
Yeah, but I'm saying if Chapman was his dominant self as he was earlier in the season, then I think he would have come in to start the ninth. But
I think so too.
I think that distrust, I'm pretty sure Boone and Cole were probably having a conversation like, how do you feel, yada, yada, yada. And then Cole was probably just lights out, just zoned in and was just like, I need to go out there and I need to finish this game right fucking now. And he went out there and did it. So
I do know one thing. It's a very good thing that game ended as it did with Cole finishing the job, because if we lost that game, whether Chapman came in or whether Cole stayed, Boone would have been getting ripped apart for either leaving Cole in
lose situation
all over
for him.
by his team, which has kind of been a thing for a little while, or making a bad pitching change to a struggling reliever. So he would have been damned if he did, damned if he didn't, if we lost that game.
Yeah. I mean, I am happy that he let Cole keep stay in there. I don't know that with Cole screaming at him, his nuts just shriveled up. He was not pulling him out. There was no chance. Do you think him going out on the mound in that moment, do you think he had any intentions of pulling Cole at all before him even yelling at him?
I think.
Do you think Cole? My point.
No.
Do you think Cole screaming at him changed his mind,
Yes.
or do you think he already was going to let him stay in?
I do.
I think
It
he
was only
wanted to
one out
gauge-
left.
I think he went out on that mound with an 85% chance
Yeah.
of pulling him. And it was
I mean-
if he shows any hesitation about his confidence facing the next batter, then boom, Chapman's coming in.
It's a very rare situation where a manager goes out there for a mound visit without some intention of taking a pitcher out. It's very rare for a manager to go out there. It's usually a pitching coach or a different coach to go out there and talk to him. So to think that there was no intention to take him out at all, I think there had to have been some intention if it was Aaron Boone going out there and talking to him.
I definitely don't think it was set in
time he
stone
didn't hit
though.
his
No, it wasn't set in stone.
Because when you're taking somebody out, you walk right out of you walk right out of the dugout,
Yeah.
and you're pointing to the bullpen right out of the gates. So
And that he's going like this on his left arm if he's definitely going to pull him.
so yeah, there was definitely a little bit of
I didn't wanna
leeway there, and I think obviously screaming at his fucking head off. It's funny when they asked Cole what he said out there. He's like, I forget exactly
No,
the
he
word.
was like, I don't know,
There's
I
a
said-
few expletives. Yeah, that's
No, he
exactly.
said-
What
he
There's
said-
a
he
few
said the F
expletives,
word.
and then I said let's ring him up or something.
He said, I said the F word a lot, then I blacked out.
Yeah, and then I
Oh,
blacked
yeah,
out.
that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and it was against Yordan Alvarez too, so it's not an easy batter to get out with 129 pitches.
Especially for
And
a
it was,
right-handed
and honestly, that was probably his dirtiest pitch of all of them. 99, fucking tailing like crazy, high and away, unbelievable, just
How do you throw a
unbelievable,
99-mile-an-hour fastball on your 120, 130 whatever pitch? That is
Unbelievable.
incredible. And we know he's a workhorse, but still.
Here's the other thing too, is that Cole yelling at Boone in that situation was probably the best thing that happened to Boone, because he probably went out there with some intention of taking out, but was obviously very unsure of what the fuck to do.
His decision was made.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah.
all right, this guy's yelling at me. If he fucks up, it's his fault. My hands are tied. You know,
Yeah.
I'm leaving him in there, and if he fucks this game up, then like it's more on him than it is on me for yelling at me.
And Chandler pointed something really funny out. Did you see the look Luke Voigt gave?
Yeah, he was like,
It's like, do you think it's more Boone or Cole screaming, or do you think it's the look Luke Voigt gave him? Like, if you don't fucking stay in this game, I'm gonna see you in the parking lot after this, and then we'll take care of business.
you know what I thought about? You know that video of the boxing referee who's in a shade in the boxing match and his eyes are popping out of his head.
No,
Do you know that video?
no, what?
If you don't, I'll show it to
I
you
know
guys
what you're talking
afterwards.
about.
You know what I'm talking about, Murph?
100%.
That's what I thought about it. It's just like
No, that makes
very
a lot
just
of
like
sense.
stargazing eyes
I
popping
think I know
out
what
of
you're
your
talking
socket.
about. Yeah.
If you don't know what it is, go look it up. It's hilarious.
Yeah, this is bad radio, but I don't know. I just think it's awesome, and for those, I don't think there's anybody else in the world right now that is still doubting Garrett Cole. That shut everybody the fuck up. He's fully back, and I personally want to say that I didn't doubt him. There were a few like, oh wow, he's got to turn it around, but there were a lot of people saying like, yo, Cole's done since the sticky stuff. And clearly he just needed to have some fire lit under his ass, and the random starts against the Tigers and other shit like that, that's not going to get you going. But going back to Houston in front of a full crowd, going against your former team and pitching a full complete game shutout with 12 Ks, that'll fucking do it in a back against the wall series for us. Because if we get swept by them, I'm pretty sure this podcast right now, what we're talking about is the season is over. And I don't think that's an overreaction.
Yeah, I agree. But I think one other thing is that the stars kind of aligned, if you will, or it was sort of a perfect storm for Cole, because it did have all those external impacts, like he's pitching in Houston for the first time and whatnot, but also he's finally had a couple of starts under him where if he was using the sticky stuff, which at this point we know he was, he had a couple of outings where he could throw without using it and kind of get used to the feel of the ball with that. If you change anything about your pitching mechanics, it's going to take you a few innings to figure it out at least. So I think part of it also was that he sort of dialed it in and got used to throwing the ball as it is without any of the sticky stuff.
Yeah, I think that's kind of an adjustment that a lot of pitchers are going to probably make here. Like,
Exactly.
I think we're going to start seeing pitchers get used to not using it.
I think so too.
Excuse me. But yeah, I think Garrett Cole is fully back, and I think I genuinely don't think that one walk-off has made us not back. The offense has been put. Here's the one takeaway also I'll say is that even though we lost in that horrible fashion, the bullpen is our biggest concern right now. And it may still be a concern. We just need guys like Chapman to turn it around, because I don't think that's a deadline. If we do become buyers, which we'll get into in a second, I don't think they're going to address bullpen. I think what we got is what we got. They're obviously going to be
pitched very well for a long period of time. So.
yeah, which I expect them to turn it around. I do expect Chapman to turn it around too. I don't think he's going to pitch like this for a long time. I think he's a prime candidate that's going to be like what Cole just did. Like these pitchers are going to get used to pitching without sticky stuff. We said Chapman was one of the main people that probably benefited using sticky stuff because he's such a wild pitcher and he throws so fucking hard and he gets such high spin rates and velocities, all that stuff. He'll eventually figure it out to a degree, and he'll turn it around. I have confidence in that. We just saw it with Garrett Cole, so I'm not too worried about that. What I am happy about, like I said, even though we did lose that game 8-7, we put up 7 runs. So 7 runs, and we said it on the last episode, since like July 23rd, they were 4th in the league in runs scored. The last couple games, they put up 7 runs that game. What do they put up the other games? I think they put up 1, obviously, in the Cole.
4, I think.
4.
Okay,
1
but the
4.
offense is definitely coming alive, which I'm happy to see. So those are the silver linings we're going to take from it. And it's not even silver linings. We won the fucking series. So
Here's the thing. If we lost that game, like a close game, 4-3 or something like that, then we would be talking about how we won the series and that we're all fine. We're going to the All-Star break on high hopes, great momentum. We're gonna come out here second half and we're gonna fucking destroy the Red Sox. But because of the fact that we lost the way we did in the 9th inning on a 6-run 9th inning walk-off by Jose Altuve, it feels like we lost the entire series, and that's why the momentum's down. But we had a great game. We just fucking blew it again, which is a whole different issue in itself. But it takes away from the 2 amazing games that we had against Houston, who is a great team right now, leading their division.
Yeah. That being said, the next 13 games are absolutely make or break for this entire season. The next 13 games, we have 8 against Boston, 3 versus the Rays, and 2 versus Philly. And that's, I believe, I could be wrong. We said it before. I think it's the day before the deadline or around there. These next 13 games, and especially the 8 against Boston and the 3 against the Rays, not as much against Philly, but also against Philly, because it's just a race against the wild card. It's not necessarily just the AL East, because, you know, we're 4.5 out of the second wild card. That's ground that can easily be made up. We talked about this before. What's considered striking distance to be a buyer? Murph, I think you said 4 games.
Yeah, 4.
So we're right there. As long as we stay within that range, you're in your mind and probably my mind too, I'd consider us buyers. There's half a season left. So I think being within 4 games is easily buyer territory. I think even more than that. If we're 6.5, I think I would still consider us buyers, because that's a lot of time. We've seen we can make up ground like that in 3 days.
Yeah, obviously those 2 games are going to decide whether we're buyers or sellers. If a deal comes along that we can jump on to be buyers at 6.5, 7 games back, that's favorable. They're going to take it. But
that being said, also these
I'm
8
comfortable with them, kind of jumping out and trying to actively be buyers.
Yeah. But that being said, these 8 and these 3 against the Rays in Boston, like I said, it's unlikely. We are 8 games back, but we do still have a shot at the division. I'm worried about just making the playoffs at this point. And that being said, that cold start, I don't even give a fuck about the division anymore, because I would take Garrett Cole over anybody else. Because when it matters, that guy is going to give that energy in a wild card game. And I don't give a fuck who you have on the other side. As long as the offense gives him 1 run, that's all we fucking need. And I do believe Aaron Judge and Garrett Cole could win a wild card game alone. And I think that's all we need. So
we just need 8 other fielders.
Exactly. I don't give a shit. And the teams we're probably going to be likely playing in a wild card would be either the Rays or the Red Sox or the Athletics or Astros, depending on how that works. It's probably going to be the Athletics.
Astros in a wild card game would be electric.
Yeah.
I would prefer that. I would prefer that over the Athletics 100%. I mean, the Astros are a better team, but that'd be Cole versus former team. That'd be good for baseball. A lot of people talking about what's good for baseball. That's showing that Cole just had a playoff vibe already. But imagine a 1-game wild card.
To that point in the season, that would, in my opinion, be the highest watched game of the season by far.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the World Series and some of the later rounds would have more, but for a single game until that point where the wild card happens, that would be the highest watched
single game, just story writing itself moment. We had this situation here at the last series where now there's kind of now there's a storyline this season too with the Astros. So obviously it's not as big as the Astros cheating a whole season, but it's a story, and if that happens, that'd be fucking nuts. Obviously I want to win the series, which to your point before, Luke, about how being reachable, I mean, the 13 games we have coming up with 8 against the Red Sox, that literally is going to make or break our season. That could put put us in striking distance for the division, or it could absolutely just detriment us and put us at the way bottom, and then trying to scrap together wins to win a wild card game. So I think it could put us either or.
And then also that would shoot the Red Sox into a really good spot for their own sake in the division, which would be just not great for us.
Yeah. So I don't know. What in these next 13 games, what do you think is bad enough to not be buyers?
I think
how many games out? Honestly, I think if we're 7 games out, I still would be buyers. This last series gave me a lot of hope.
Yeah,
7 games for wild card.
How bad do you have to do to even get 7 games? I honestly think it's almost more likely than not that we are buyers at this point. Is that safe to say?
I think so. It's safe to say, yeah.
I'm just saying we were saying these next 13 games are make or break for us. I think if we go, 4-9 in these next 13, that wouldn't put us more than probably 7 out, or that depends on other people playing well or bad. I don't know. To me, like that, honestly, the math kind of adds up there. Like you go 4-9, even if it depends on everybody else. But I think, like worst case scenario, we're like 7 out.
Here's a tricky thing, though.
We're not going to go 0-13.
I know, but here's the tricky thing about this. It's that as important as the Red Sox series is, it could actually mean nothing in a wild card situation because the Red Sox are going to win a division.
Well, it matters completely because it's just wins.
I know, but I'm saying like
they're just in the way. Yeah, like
it's not a direct win-loss games back situation.
No, but
Well,
out
but
of the 13, we need wins.
we shouldn't be going in just looking to be a wild card team. Like,
Yeah,
there's
if
a lot of
as good
baseball.
Of a second half as this team can do, then beating the Red Sox 6 out of 8 times is going to go a long way down the stretch.
Honestly, we need to win we need to win as many games as we can the next 13 games. But if we win like let's say 7 or 8 games, I don't think that's a complete like season's over situation. Obviously, I want to win more than that, but if we break even against our division rivals, it's not the worst thing in the world because we're racking up wins and trying to win the wild card series. So
now that we've established that we're probably going to be buyers, let's go around the table. If you had one person that we would want on the Yankees right now, we've been talking a lot about who we want, but now that it's so close, just quickly, one person. Murph, go.
Joey Gallo.
I don't have a person, but I'm 100% on board with pitching and not a batter.
So who's that? Scherzer?
I mean, yeah, if I could get Scherzer, I'd fucking give anything to get Scherzer. But
I mean, obviously Gallo's a stretch too. But
well, here's another thing that we haven't mentioned yet on any podcast: that the Cubs are officially sellers now. So that brings up people like Chris Bryant. That brings up people like
Kyle Hendricks.
That's what I was thinking
well,
of.
Here's a quick little thing. Jeff Pazan. During the All-Star game, he said that Joey Gallo is most definitely getting traded over the next few weeks.
That is interesting. Tell me
we don't need a plus fielder that can hammer home runs. I mean, I know we're a home run team already. We have plenty of power, but the fielding is something that nobody talks about either. Plus, he can play the infield a little bit if we need that.
Can he?
Yeah, he came up as a third baseman.
Kind of had a stinker of a home run derby.
I don't know. I'm kind of. Obviously, it's a good name. He's attractive on paper. I think that the plus fielding is something that you're right, Murph, doesn't get talked about enough. But I don't know. It kind of is. Right now, in my mind, our biggest problem is just pitching. Like we said it before, and we say it all the time again. We know our offense has been streaky, and we've had some really, really tough outings offensively. But we can't afford to continue to just blow these leads again and again and again. And
so you're thinking the back end of the bullpen, you mean?
What about a Kimbrel?
Yeah, but I think it kind
He's
of
having a nice year.
Yeah, but I think that
Cubs
the
sellers.
back end of the bullpen also kind of like if you have a starting pitcher that can go more than 5 innings, it kind of helps out your bullpen a lot more.
That's true.
So I think Kimbrel will be a nice addition.
He's on a 1-year deal, right? He's like
who?
Like he's a free agent.
Kimbrel?
I think no.
Dude, Kimbrel has a .57 ERA.
Yeah,
31.2 innings pitched.
Yeah, he's having a good year.
He's having a very nice year. He is a exact like the definition of who would get dealt at the deadline now that the Cubs are officially sellers. That's exactly like a Chapman situation for us. Who wants a closer? Does anybody want a closer, or do you want to help out their bullpen? That's exactly
that's the guy that I mean, I don't know what his contract looks like, which obviously is a big part, and obviously if he's going to be a free agent or not. But I feel like would have to give up a pretty substantial package for him. Same with Gallo, granted, but if we're 7 games back and we're giving up a decent chunk of our farm system for a guy who might be able to help us out, but we still don't know where this team is going, then a year from now we could be saying that was stupid.
Yeah.
Just saying. keep an eye out for him. Let me take a look at his contract. He has a 3-year, $43 million contract. He is owed $16 million next year, so he would become a free agent in 2023. So he's under contract next year. I mean, it's the last thing. 16? We need another $16 million bullpen arm. We owe Britton like that much, around that much, and Chapman like a lot more. I don't know.
Do we have the room for that, though? Do we have the room?
No, probably not. We'd have to. I don't know. It's just another guy to keep an eye on in terms of who's going to be dealt on the Cubs. I mean, I don't know who is.
We don't have room for Gallo
available on the Cubs.
No, that's interesting. It's gonna be weird how it plays out. I feel like any of these predictions that we're saying, they're gonna get somebody that we haven't even thought of talking about, and
like
it
Tim
might be a great thing.
Castro.
No, I just hope we get somebody.
Nobody
big.
thought we were gonna get Robertson back a couple years ago. Sure enough, like he always figures something out, and it's usually not what people predict. I feel like
it's gonna be no one we've ever heard of, like Castro.
I'd heard of Castro just because he's really fast in the show.
If we can make Story happen, that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool.
That's just not gonna happen.
I don't think that's even. Well, the fact
I'm
that
just
I
looking
don't
around
think it's
the
gonna
league.
happen makes me think it's gonna happen. But
I'm just looking around the league, like who's in 4th and below in their division. The Royals. I definitely think Benintendi's still
I would
in play.
love me some Whit Merrifield, but there's no way.
I don't think they would do with Merrifield. I think he's probably somebody they want to keep, but like Benintendi is exactly who they would want to flip.
I don't know.
Everyone was wondering why they signed Benintendi
all day, but the simple fact of it is,
we have no fucking idea. But I'm just saying Benintendi we've talked about forever, and then he's exactly why. Like, everyone was wondering why you signed Benintendi for the Royals. You're not going to compete. You have the White Sox that are going to win in the division. I don't know. People didn't really know what their deal was, and he's exactly that. You just get a guy who's coming off a bad year and try and flip him. Like, that's what people do with whatever his fucking name is, the Dark Knight. I forgot his name for a second. The Orioles signed the pitcher from the Mets.
Oh, Harvey?
Yeah, Harvey. I don't know why I blanked on Matt Harvey's name.
I thought you meant somebody that
Yeah, no, they tried to get him to turn back the clock for a year, and then they flip him for prospects, and that's what they did with Benintendi, and I think it's going to work, and that's what the Cubs are doing with Kimbrel. I don't know. This is all kind of speculation, but I don't know. I think
that is not what the Cubs did with Kimbrel. They thought they were going to be good.
No, I agree, but I think that's what they're going to do with Kimbrel now.
For $16 million to try to flip him.
Agreed.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Keep a lookout for all the teams. All the teams from top to bottom now who are in 4th or 5th in their division. I think this is still the case, but Yankees, obviously, I don't think we're going to be. Oh no, I think we are technically above the Orioles now. That needs to be updated, but. Orioles, Nationals, Marlins, Cubs, Pirates, Royals, Twins, Angels, Rangers, Rockies, D-backs. All those teams are probably going to be sellers.
Oh, Ohtani. Great.
Yeah, if we could get Ohtani, that'd be fucking
hitting.
cool.
Nice.
So,
I'd put Stanley on the bench for
oh, and one last thing that we didn't hit on with the Astros thing, just a little bit. I know everybody's seen it before, but just kind of funny that Altuve was flaunting that they let's take the shirt off, let's show them, like all that. It's like arguably the worst thing you could do, because it shows like that you were reluctant to take it off before, and now you have no problem.
Well, did you see the thing? They were like, "That's the tattoo he was hiding when he took his shirt off."
Well, we saw that before. It was his
no, I know,
daughter's
but like
name.
I just like didn't think of it that way. I was like, "Wow, like come on, man."
Yeah, no. I mean, he was very clearly wearing a buzzer, and it's funny that they were like, "Oh my god, let's rip the jersey off. This will show everybody like we don't care." When they don't realize that this is like arguably the worst thing you could have done, because it proves that you had a reluctance to take it off before because you were hiding a buzzer. It's just like that.
I have a hot take. He had the buzzer on his leg. Take the pants off. I don't buy it.
All right, Murph.
Sorry.
I mean, is that why Sergio Romo stripped naked before? Did you see that?
I did.
I want to see like the end of Slapshot. Just take everything. You guys like hockey, so you don't know that.
Yeah,
movie.
it's a terrible.
If anybody
look
likes
by
hockey,
him.
you'd know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely terrible.
All right. Before we get into our last voicemail, it's gonna be a little bit of a shorter episode because we're a few days removed from this series, and it's the All-Star break, so we don't really have much to talk about. But
break for us too.
It's a break for us too. How do you guys feel about Trey Sweeney the MLB draft just happened, and I didn't really know about Trey Sweeney at all, but he is a lefty shortstop. Yankees are stacking up on shortstops. It seems
He does not play shortstop. He's not gonna play shortstop though.
No, they're talking about him moving out of shortstop,
Good
but
numbers.
yeah, with the 20th overall pick, they took him. He's a left-handed hitting shortstop, which is fun, from Eastern Illinois. He had 382 with 14 homers, 58 RBIs this season. Was named the Ohio Valley Conference Player of the Year. And while many project Sweeney to one day move from shortstop, this pick continues the trend of the Yankees stacking up on shortstops. So it's fun. It's fun. I don't think necessarily they're looking for, a replacement per se. I think Volpe's been coming up. He just got promoted to, I think, Hudson Valley. Which is that?
Yeah, high A.
High A.
Renegades. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's playing really well. And I mean, he could be good for shortstop. So, they're looking at that. I like the idea of stacking up on shortstops, though, because it is a very athletic position. So just
you
getting
can move
good
a guy to second. You can move him to third. I like that.
Yeah, we just need fielding, and a lefty shortstop's fun. I like the idea that they're just doing just at least just one pick, but keep stacking up on lefties. Austin Wells too, another lefty. Just get as many lefties as you can, and finally do the damn thing where the Yankees get lefties as power hitters or just hitters in general. Play to your strengths. They haven't done that. I don't know why. So it's nice at least to see the front office is taking that into consideration when they're making their picks. So that's the one thing I took away from that. And he seems like he's a contact hitter, so that makes me happy. He probably has some speed. Seems like it. I don't know. He's a shortstop, so hopefully he does.
I followed him on Instagram the other day. I had a nice picture of him rounding third, I think. So
there you go.
There you go. A little bit of speed there.
Here's what I'll say. Great baseball name. Trey Sweeney.
That's a very good point.
Great baseball
Like Dansby
name.
Swanson, but way cooler.
Yep.
Yeah.
Dansby Swanson is probably one of the best names I could ever think of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
big Dansby Swanson vibes.
But great baseball name. That's half of it.
That is half the battle. So let's get into a couple voicemails, and I think we will call it a day. We got a bunch of your voicemails. We kind of probably talked about a lot of this already, but let's get into it. Let's pick the first one, and here we go.
Dude, trade the whole fucking team. Don't care. Burn that place to the fucking ground. I hate that little fucking shrimp, dude. My whole day is absolutely ruined. I'm sitting here at work, gun in the lap, cancel the season. It's over.
I like this. Let's not even talk about these. Let's just play a little bit of these rapid fire to get the vibes of Yankee fans right after that Altuve home run.
Did he say gun in the lap?
Altuve's tattoo that his wife was embarrassed about. Ain't seen no tattoos on that midget body.
Was that it?
That was it. And
Yeah, a couple things. Fuck the Yankees and fuck Aaron Boone. He can keep his sorry Mickey Mouse looking ass in the first half of the season. We need to fire him, sign CC, or fucking Eric Kratz, Showalter, whoever the fuck wants to manage the team. Honestly, make Judge a fucking player coach, because who cares? Because this is fucking ridiculous. Double, single. He keeps the, let's keep Green in the game, and we let the sorry little fucking midget hit a home run off of us. Fuck that dude. Fucking stupid-ass team. Fuck the Yankees.
I'm glad the Mickey Mouse is catching on.
yeah, I
guys.
appreciate that. Everybody's listening. And that guy actually called back before that during the first game. And I wanted to play that one real quick.
Cole still in this game in the ninth with 113 pitches. For an analytically inclined manager, this makes literally zero sense, because if Cole shits himself, then you're bringing in Chapman, who has been extremely unreliable, with guys on base, which he notoriously struggles in. So none of this makes sense, because if you're gonna put Chapman in the game, let him start a clean inning. I get Cole is rolling tonight, but I don't know why you're putting him in the ninth. It doesn't make sense. Jesus Christ, let's see how this ends.
Old takes exposed.
Did not age
That
well.
one did not age well. He's like, oh, let's see how this ends. He called back 3 times, I think. Here's a second one. He called back again.
Fuck. We put Chapman on the IL and sent Tim McCasher to the All-Star game. Just a thought.
And then he called back again and said something else.
I've seen a lot of bullshit with this team. I've seen them blow leads, but this one is just fucking soul crushing. We're going to sweep them into the All-Star break, and as soon as the team gives you hope, they just take it right back away from you. It's very unfortunate. It's so fucking stupid.
He's right.
That's the best one. That
He's right.
summed it all up.
He's right. I mean, it's been one step forward, two steps back. I don't think it definitely was soul crushing. I don't think it was, like I said before, I don't think it's enough to take away the progress we made this entire series. And,
You say that, but if we recorded this right after that happened, world's on fire. We had a couple days to.
That's why I'm glad we cooled off. That's why I'm glad we're doing this now.
He's on a hot mic right after, so
It's true.
I don't blame him.
That was minutes
I want to
after.
know what he thinks now. I want to know if he's changed his mind and come to reality a little bit like we have, or if he's still this fumigated over it. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think probably all of Yankee Land has gotten over it and realized that we won the series, and we're still in pretty good shape. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about. We start again. When is our next game? Is it Wednesday?
Thursday, I believe.
Thursday, Boston.
Whenever the
Thursday.
15th is.
It is Thursday. Thursday against Boston. Let's do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Let's keep this fucking momentum going.
Got stat talk?
Yeah, for those listening to the podcast, if you're listening live, that's the end of this podcast here, but we're going to throw stat talk at the end of this, so stick around and enjoy 10 minutes of stats and talking to BJ and having a blow